Hey guys, it's Verse Ripper here, and today we've got a game of Demolition on Mission, which has a pretty nice ring to it. Um, I decided to start off sniping, so I was going for a sniper gameplay. Didn't work out too well for me, so I switched to a tryhard gun and then started wrecking kids, as you'll see. Um, Basically, in this video and some future videos even, who knows, I'll be talking about how to get better at Call of Duty because although I'm not MLG Pro, I do have a 2.8 KD, and I think there are some tips and tricks I can give to some of the viewers of this video that you wouldn't have known otherwise. Well, okay, let's get right into it then. The first thing I want to cover is the people you play with. That has a huge effect on how well you do, believe it or not. Because if you're playing with a bunch of, if it's a bad party or just randoms, it's a lot harder to do good. And even I've noticed that. Like, I go into a team deathmatch game or like a mercenary game and I'm playing with randoms, and it's a lot harder to do well, to pull like a high KD and to rack on kill streaks. Um, the reason for that is because you don't have people you can trust to get your team UAVs, cover your back, cover your flank, and just make sure that you're not getting shot in the back all the time. That's, those are the two really main points of running with a party. Also, because you challenge each other. When you're playing with good players and you're constantly competing for the top place on the team, it helps you get better at the game, believe it or not. So, first thing I want you to do, go out there, just find a group of people to play with. Well, just go play some search and destroy, some team deathmatch, and if you see like a party of 4 or 5 people, just send them a message and be like, hey, let me join your party. And a lot of the times you'll be surprised that people are like, okay, sure, join the party, whatever, because you were smart enough to send that message. So I mean, you can't be that bad. You're already on the road to getting better at the game. So that's the first step. Find good people to play with. The second thing is, I really want you to look at how I play in this game right here. That's a bad example right now, but a lot of the times when I aim down sights and I'm turning a corner, I have cover. Like, you will never see me outside just standing out there in the middle of a field with no cover, just aiming down sights. Because that's how you get killed. That's how you die. What you want to do instead is have something covering your body, like always. You're harder to shoot, you're harder to kill, and that, in return, raises your kill-death ratio because you're dying less. So, be conscious of where you're standing, and if you see cover, and if you want to go from one place to another place, you need to use cover to get there, because just running straight there, although it's going to be faster, chances are you're going to die while you do it. So, try to keep cover in between you and the enemies. One really useful thing in Call of Duty is head glitching, or head peeking, as whatever you want to call it. It's all the same. What this basically is, when you find a level surface that is just barely enough for you to see over, what it does is the enemy cannot really see your head, because the way Call of Duty works is when you aim down sights, he kind of brings the gun up to his head, and it's not like you stand up and you're a bigger target to shoot. So try to keep, if you see a wall that's low enough, just crouch behind it. You'll be able to like barely see over the wall, and truth is the enemy won't be able to see you at all, pretty much, and you'll be very hard to kill. So what I want you to pay attention to in this game is just how I use the cover overall, and how I move from place to place, and how I kill people. Because although I win some gunfights head on in this game, a lot of my kills are from people that don't even know I'm there, and that's how you really want to play it. Because I don't care how good you are. Nobody expects you to win 40 gunfights out of 40 just head on, gun to gun. The way you get kills is just flanking people, pretty much, and that's a really useful tool. The last thing I want to talk about, well, I wouldn't say it's the last thing, but the next thing I want to talk about is the sensitivity. I play on 7 sensitivity right now. I used to play on 10, but then I realized it was kind of a little bit too jerky for me. And you know, this is something. If you play on a 2 or 3 sensitivity right now, it's something you definitely want to think about raising, because it's going to help you in the long run. While I mean, yeah, 2 or 3 sensitivity is pretty good for having a like stable shot and not like jerking around too much. But when somebody gets behind you, chances are you won't be able to turn around fast enough to kill them. So that those deaths that you get from people behind you really start to rack on eventually. That's a that's something I'm going to focus on. And although it's a little bit intimidating to go from like 3 sensitivity to like 10 sensitivity right away, try raising it little by little. So like if you play on a 3 right now, go for 5 sensitivity or 6 or whatever, and just find something you're comfortable with, because you don't want to be using a 10 sensitivity or 9 sensitivity because I told you to use it or somebody else told you to use it. You want to be doing what you think is good for you and you feel comfortable with, and that's the point of having higher sensitivities, to turn around and be able to kill people faster. And also, sure, you could keep the sensitivity you have right now and raise your KD, but if you keep doing what you're doing right now, you're gonna keep getting the same results. So just try different things, mess around with the sensitivities, and just try doing different things that you're not currently doing. And this leads into my next point, which is the default layout versus the tactical layout. Now, sure, the default layout is really good for when you're in close quarter combat. And when I mean close quarter, I mean like the guy's in your face. You just tap on the R3 button, whatever if you play on the 360, whatever that is for you. Just tap on it and you just get an insta kill. And that does get you some kills in really close quarter combat. But then again, when you have medium range gunfights or close quarter gunfights that aren't as close enough for knives, then you really start to lose use of that R3 button, because you're not just gonna knife the air and get the kill. But if you're on tactical, you can just press down R3 button and just drop shot the guy you're fighting. Then it's gonna give you an edge, because a lot of people don't expect you to just drop prone. It's weird how people don't ever learn. So that's something you want to think about changing. Is your control. So just try it out. The first time I tried it, it felt really weird for me. I just kept crouching when I wanted to knife. I kept knifing when I wanted to crouch, and eventually, in a couple games, you'll get the hang of it a little bit. And as you start to use it more, within a week max, you'll pretty much master drop shotting. I mean, drop shotting is really underrated by a lot of people. So you want to like try out to use the tactical layout, and once you learn to use the tactical layout, you'll be able to switch back and forth from default to tactical whenever you want. That's what I've noticed. So if you go into a private match and you're doing Mike Myers or something with your friends, you'll be able to switch out to oh look, Moab. You'll be able to switch out to default and just use default in the private match, and when you go back online, you'll use the tactical layout like it's nothing. So I definitely recommend giving that a shot. So yeah, I mean, that was the whole point of this video, is to give you some tips on how to get better. So this is a Moab game, and the thing that's really annoying me about the Moab is that you don't get any titles or emblems for it. There's no challenges for getting Moabs, which I found to be pretty sad. I mean, you get an emblem for dying to a Moab, but not for getting one. I mean, I don't get that. I never will, but whatever, man. So this game's starting to wrap up. I was playing with a full party, so we made the game last the whole 15 minutes that it needed to. We all did pretty well. My final score ends up being 44-3, and here I just go on a tear again. I don't know. My final score was 44-3. I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you learned something, and I definitely recommend going out and trying some of these things that I mentioned in this video. So peace, guys. Have fun trying out all that stuff.
We have won. The enemy stood no chance.